Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about The Cranes Are Flying and how this 1957 Soviet masterpiece will not only blow you away visually, but also move you to tears. Okay, so The Cranes Are Flying is set in Moscow during World War II, and specifically during the German invasion of Russia in 1941. Our protagonist is a young Russian woman, Veronica, played by Tatiana Samoilova, and her boyfriend, Boris, played by Aleksey Batalov. And they are in the throes of young love, but very early into the film, Boris has to leave her to go fight the German advance. Right from the start, we are taken in by this young couple, Veronica and Boris. The way they talk to each other, how happy they are together, and how much effort they have to expend just to meet up with each other. Though the relationship is out in the open, they have to kind of tiptoe around everyone else because they have no privacy, and just coming in the house at an odd hour wakes up the whole extended family living there. However, this has the effect of intensifying their desire to be together. It reminds you of what love was like when you were young, and that excitement to be alive was not tempered by age and life experience. So Veronica in particular is just magnetic. She's an attractive young woman, but not in the classic sense. She just has this radiant, headstrong spirit, a kind of gleeful exuberance, plus an emotional maturity that causes us both to admire her and empathize with her throughout the film. I found myself laughing and even tearing up along with Veronica, experiencing the emotions that she felt directly. And this is unusual for me. Very few films I've seen have this level of emotive power. The Cranes Are Flying hooks us and reels us in with its realistic depiction of emotional complexity and the unpleasant decisions that we have to make where human relationships are concerned. The Cranes Are Flying has a unique look and feel due to the potent artistic combination of director Mikhail Kalatozov and cinematographer Sergei Urusevsky, who understood each other's intentions on a deep level. They both spoke a very cinematic language, and what I mean by this is that they both had the instinct of primarily telling the story and conveying emotion through the use of the techniques unique to filmmaking. Director Kalatozov started his career as a cameraman, and he understood intuitively Urusevsky's cinematic means of expression. He knew when to give Urusevsky the freedom to make a given scene happen in the way that he wanted. Every shot in this film is composed with the utmost deliberation. He uses low-angled shots, high-angled crane shots, lots of handheld shots. In particular, many of his sequences conveying motion are of a style that I've never seen before. Urusevsky truly is an artist behind the camera, and the whole film just has a crisp, highly stylized look that is visually stunning. Okay, for a little historical context, The Cranes Are Flying was released in 1957 and was produced by Mosfilm, which was one of the largest of the Soviet film production companies. So this film was firmly under the thumb of the Soviet Union's propaganda apparatus. The arts in the Soviet Union had been in a straitjacket of repressive censorship under Joseph Stalin for decades. But Stalin's death in 1953, just 4 years before this film was released, freed our director Kalatozov, among others, to both depict the suffering of the Russian people caused by the Second World War, and to create characters which were not limited by the typical Russian stereotypes of that day. Kalatozov's nuanced rendering of Veronica's moral and emotional complexity, plus his refusal to neatly sum it up for the audience, triggered debates in Russia, with some viewing her as a heroine and others denouncing her, and everything in between. This was a very un-Soviet film, and though it was initially not regarded highly by the Soviet officials, The Cranes Are Flying became a huge international hit. It stunned audiences all over the world, and Veronica became something of an icon for Russian womanhood. Well, that's it for The Cranes Are Flying. You absolutely have to check this film out. You won't regret it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Rod Richards. Until next time.